Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a chit chat video on my solo holiday to Dubai. Okay, so if you've been following me on Instagram, which you should have been by now, if you haven't, I'll leave the name to my Instagram page anyway. It's the same name as my YouTube channel, which is DamilolaLiz. You know that I went on a solo holiday to Dubai. And first of all, let's talk about my hair. So this is my natural hair that's been stretched out, okay? Because I know somebody might just be wondering or asking questions, but this is my own hair that's been stretched out. Anyway, so yes, in the month of June, I went on a solo holiday. And this was pretty much like my birthday holiday. It was like a gift from me to me. This was my first holiday in my whole lifetime. So I just turned 29 this year, and this was actually my first time going on holiday. I come from a big family, so you know we don't really get the luxury to be going on holiday as a family or as an individual like the way some people do. So anyway, Dubai has always been one of those places where I've always wanted to go. It's been my dream holiday. It's been my #1 destination for a very, very long time. So for it to actually happen, it was like a dream come true for me. Now, when I told people that I was going on a solo holiday to Dubai, a lot of people thought I was crazy. A lot of people were shocked because people are not used to going to holidays on their own. A lot of people are used to going with their friends, with their family, with their loved ones, with their boyfriends and everything. So, you know, when I told them that I'm going solo, which means I'm going on my own, they were surprised. They thought maybe I might just, you know, link up with some dude when I get there, or I'm going there to meet somebody and I don't know anybody in Dubai. I don't know anyone who lives there. Like, I'm just going there as a total stranger. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to really encourage people who are single to know that you can live your best life, and you don't have to be in a relationship before you start enjoying your life or before you start living your life. And I know for some people, you know, depending on what culture you come from, like people make you feel like, oh, until you get married, that's when you can start enjoying traveling, or until you have a boyfriend or until you have a husband, then that's when you're going to start living your life because you can do things together. But to be honest with you, everything that you can do with a husband, you can pretty much do on your own, apart from sexual intercourse, obviously. But when it comes to traveling, partying, all these kind of things, you can enjoy these things on your own. So for me personally, I am an introvert. And do you know what? I wouldn't even say I'm 100% introvert. I think I'm 70% introvert and then 30% extrovert, because on this holiday to Dubai, I was pretty much an extrovert, right? But I'll get into that a little bit on in this video. So you know, when you're an introvert, you tend to stay in your comfort zone. It's not like you don't like meeting new people, but we're not just open to talk to new people yet. We kind of observe, we watch, you know, to see what you're about, and then we open up. And if we like you and we get close to you, then we open up a little bit more. We do like to go out, but we like to be alone to recharge. We tend to recharge by being alone. We're not attention seeking. We don't look for attention. We try to hide away from it, but attention seems to follow us. That's like a pure sign of an introvert. And so I've been single for quite a long time, like for many, many years now. I think I've been single for over 10 years now. And so I always go places on my own. I don't usually wait for people before I go places. I don't really have friends like that, to be honest. I have workmates and colleagues and people that I talk to here and there, but I don't have like a best friend. I don't have like a close, you know, like I have maybe 1 or 2 close friends, but that's about it. And they're in a relationship and the other one is married. So really, yeah, it's not Like it's not that close, if you know what I mean. So I've been used to going places on my own, and being able to travel on my own wasn't really a big deal for me. It was a big deal for a lot of people, but the fact that it was Dubai was like the big ish for me, because that was like my dream place, my destination, the place that I've always wanted to go to. And so when I eventually landed in Dubai, it really felt so surreal, and I just couldn't believe it. I felt like I was just in another world. I was in another planet. I don't know anyone who goes to Dubai and comes back and say, oh, I didn't enjoy it. Like, there's no way you cannot enjoy it. Like, it's just impossible. Anyway, I landed there, and you know, the people there were lovely. Everyone there was beautiful, and people just kept asking me questions like, are you married? Why are you here on your own? Are you enjoying yourself? And the thing about Dubai is they're very protective of women. They're very protective of like, they treat you like you're their own. They treat you like royalty. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're getting your money's worth, basically. And so from the moment I landed in the airport till checking into the hotel, going to all these different adventures and everything, I felt so protected. I felt so loved. I felt like I was part of them. You know, it was beautiful. It was amazing. And when they all heard that I came on my own, they were all surprised. They were all shocked, and they were just thinking like, how could you go on a solo holiday all the way to Dubai? Like, why not Spain? Why not Portugal? Why not like the local places? Why Dubai? And the thing for me is, the reason why I had to be Dubai was because that has been my dream, and I don't settle for less. I always go for what I want. I don't go for second choice. I don't go for third choice. I always go for my first choice. And if it means that I have to wait before it happens, then I will wait. I'm like that. I'm very patient. I'm not someone who's always in a rush to get things done, because I believe that timing is everything. You know, just because I want it now doesn't mean that I have to have it now. And just because it's not happening now doesn't mean that it's delayed. So timing is really crucial. So when I went on this holiday, I said to myself that I am going to be an extrovert on this holiday. I'm not going to stay in my comfort zone. I'm going to do things that I never expected. I'm going to do things that are out of my zone. So when I got to Dubai, you know, I went to the safari desert. I thought it was going to be boring, but it was beyond my expectations. Like, it was beyond what I thought it would be. Then I went on the jet ski. I nearly peed on myself for this one, because this one was really out of my comfort zone. I've never been on a jet ski before, and I did it all on my own. And like, I just went on so many adventures back to back. So I wasn't really in my hotel room for so long. If you saw me in my hotel room, I was just changing and taking a shower, taking off my makeup and putting on my makeup for the next event. Because if you know Dubai, you know that it is boiling hot. And unfortunately, I went to Dubai at the most hottest time of the year, which was June, and it was 40 degrees, guys. On my way going there, I was just thinking to myself, how am I going to survive in 40 degrees? I thought I would get a headache and complain and cry and, just stay in the pool all day. But to be honest with you, 40 degrees in Dubai, it's not as, like, it was not as bad as I thought, to be honest. It wasn't as bad as I thought, but it was hot. And my makeup was dripping. So it's hot, but it's not irritating hot. It's not frustrating hot like England. So it was really different. And I had like a mini fan in my hand anyway to, keep it going and to make sure that my makeup was on point. But in a lot of cases, it was dripping. The good thing with Dubai is there's always like an aircon in every single building, in all the taxis and everything. The aircon is on, the hotels, the rooms, everything, the aircon is on. So that's something that makes Dubai very bearable in terms of holiday. Now, when I was there, like I said, I promised myself to be an extrovert. So I was talking to people that I don't know, and when I was in the hotel, I would say hi to the waitress, to the receptionist, to the security, and I'll say, hey, how are you? And these people would talk to me, and because I said, hey, how are you, these people were willing to go an extra mile for me. Because when you talk to people that you don't know and you ask them how they're doing, it lets them know that you value them, you don't look down on them, you respect them, you acknowledge them, you acknowledge their presence. And so every single person that I bumped into, every worker that I bumped into the hotel, that's what I would say to them. When I was at different adventures, at different locations, like if you've been to Dubai, you know that there's so many international people there, and I would talk to them and say, hey, how are you? And we would start a conversation, you know, make some friends, everything, get to see things from different lenses. And so I just spent a whole week of just being an extrovert. And it was really, like, I was really surprised with myself. I was proud of myself, and at the same time I was surprised with myself, because I'm not one to walk up to a stranger and say hi unless if I have to, or unless if I'm in a situation where it's part of my job to do so. So for me to be doing that, I was quite proud and happy of myself. And the thing was, because I was an extrovert for a week and I was out back to back, I came back to England and I was tired. I was drained. I had holiday fatigue. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know if such a thing exists, but that's what I'm going to call it. Holiday fatigue. That is pretty much what I had. I was drained. I was drained for about 2 to 3 days. That's when I realized that, look, I am not an extrovert. I am not an extrovert. I am 70% of an introvert. And that's when I had to acknowledge the fact that, look, you know, it's important to just acknowledge the fact that if you're an introvert, just acknowledge that. If you're an extrovert, just acknowledge that. Because that holiday made me realize that I do not have the strength to be going on adventures back to back all day long. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need time to be alone, to recharge and take a break and then come back out. That's basically what I'm like, and I'm pretty sure a lot of extroverts are like, a lot of introverts are like that as well. So today, I want to give you all some tips on going on a solo holiday. I would definitely recommend you go on a solo holiday. Don't let people make you feel like, oh, you're going to be bored, because you're not. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to actually enjoy your solo holiday and make sure that it's one of the best holidays that you have. Because if you follow my tips, there's no way you're going to find it boring. So rule number 1 for a solo holiday is you have to be very careful of your destination. So if you are going on a solo holiday, you don't want to go on a solo holiday just to sit in the sun and get yourself fried up. I don't understand that. Like, people who just go on holiday, you know, there's a spa holiday, and then there's an adventure holiday, and then there's seeing your family holiday, right? But when it's solo holiday, I don't recommend you go for a spa holiday for solo or relaxation holiday for solo, because you're going to be bored, and there's nothing, you're not doing much. Okay, so you need to pick a destination where there's going to be a lot of activities for you to do every single day. And that's the thing that I loved with Dubai. Like, I spent nearly a week in Dubai, and every single day I had so many activities to do back to back, so there was no dull moments. Every single day was occupied. I was out, I was meeting new people at different locations and different adventures. So there wasn't a time where I was bored. I never felt lonely. I felt like I was occupied. I felt like I'm constantly surrounded by people. So you have to be really careful with that. A destination holiday for solo holiday has to be a place where you're constantly going to be doing something every single day. So I don't recommend you, you know, at the end of the day, it's your choice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not forcing you. This is just my opinion. I wouldn't go to Greece as a solo holiday. For me, I think that would be dead and boring. I would have to go with somebody for that. I wouldn't go to Brazil as a solo holiday. There's not much for me to be doing. I wouldn't go to Spain for a solo holiday. So you have to be really careful. I can go to the States for a solo holiday because I feel like there's a lot more I could do there. Dubai for a solo holiday. There's countries where there's a lot of stuff to do. basically pick those type of country. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you have an itinerary planned on what you're going to do every single day. I didn't really hire anyone to do this. I did this itinerary myself. TripAdvisor is absolutely a great app to try this itinerary with. TripAdvisor is great. It's simple, it's amazing, it's straightforward. Just make sure that you have each day planned. And sometimes things will not go according to plan. On my holiday to Dubai, I had things planned of what I would do on what day, and I had the day listed and the activity listed. Let me tell you, the minute I landed in Dubai, my itinerary just changed. Everything changed, because when I landed, I realized that, wait a minute, I want to try this instead. I want to do this instead. I'll cancel that, add this, subtract that, get this. The whole itinerary changed. But it wasn't too much of a big deal, because like, it was better. Like, the new itinerary was better than the one I had planned before I landed in Dubai. So just make sure you have an itinerary plan for yourself, but also know that there could be change of plans, and be willing and open and be ready to adapt to some changes. Tip number 3 is to make sure that when you're on a solo holiday, that you become an extrovert. If you are an extrovert already, this is easy for you, as extroverts love to talk to new people. They love attention from new people. They love surrounding themselves with new people. But for someone who's an introvert, this might take a bit of time. So you have to be willing and prepared to say hi to new people. Say, hey, how are you? How's your day? You can't just keep to yourself. You can't just, stay in the hotel room for like 3 to 5 hours. You're going to be bored. You're like, it's going to be dead holiday. Okay, so you have to be willing to meet new people. Always have a smile on your face. Always be willing to open up to people, because remember, these people are strangers. They're not going to remember you the next day. They're not going to think of you the next day. They're not going to see you again. So even if you open up about your life, or you open up about what you're up to, or how things are going, just know at the back of your head that they're not going to see you, and they're not going to remember your name, and it stays in Dubai and ends in Dubai. I mean, not Dubai, but whatever destination that you decide to go to, that's where it stays and that's where it ends. Okay, so be willing to be an extrovert. The next tip would be to do not get carried away by putting everything on social media. You have to be careful about this. If Instagram is not paying for your holiday, then everybody on Instagram doesn't need to see every single thing that you're doing on your holiday. You have to learn to be in the moment. I feel like a lot of people forget how to be in the moment, because they're always carried away with having to put everything on social media and making sure that social media is capturing everything. And people forget that social media isn't paying for your holiday. Unless if you're the type of girl who's getting sponsorship deals and you have companies who are paying for your holiday, then that makes sense. But if they're not paying for your holiday, then you have to learn to live in the moment. Don't record every single little thing that you do, because if not, you're not enjoying your holiday, but your followers are actually enjoying the holiday and enjoying the views. So please don't forget, just learn to be in the moment. Another tip that I would say is, what other tips do I have for a solo holiday? So I think that's all the tips that I have so far for a solo holiday. Now, I'll just answer a few questions that some of you might have in your head. So some of you might be like, oh, why did you go on a solo holiday, and why didn't you get somebody along with you? For me personally, I love freedom, and I don't like anything taking my freedom away. And I found that when you go to places on your own, you're free to do whatever you want to do at the time you want to do it, at the pace you want to do it, and you're free to just, roam about at any given time. Whereas when you go with people, you have to consider this person's condition. Then you have to consider, like, when groups of people go on holiday, there's always that one friend that forgets their money. Then there's the other friend that, she's just not in the mood. I remember when I was in Dubai and we were in the safari desert, there was 2 girls who came as friends on this holiday as well, and I saw them there, and they were supposed to go on the camel, right? And one of them was telling me that they can't go on the camel because her friend doesn't have money, and for some reason the transfer wasn't working, and they had data issues and all these type of issues. And I thought, oh gosh, this is one of the reasons why I don't like going with friends to a couple of places, because I just find that when you go to places with friends all the time, they tend to hold you back or hold you down. I mean, for some people it works out great, but for some people it's just a lot of setbacks. And so that is why I just go solo, because I don't have to put anyone into consideration. Like, I can just go all out, and I don't have to feel guilty, and I just feel free, and I don't feel like there's any limitations around me, you know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why I went solo. Also, if I had to wait for people to get on the same page as me to go on this holiday to Dubai, I would be waiting forever, and I don't have forever to be waiting. So that's why I just decided to take that bold step to go on my own. I didn't go there to go meet people. I know people have this mindset that if you're going on a solo holiday, you're going there to meet a man or whatever. I didn't go there to do that. Truth be told, I could have come back from Dubai married. I could have come back as in a relationship, but I knew what I went there for, and it was just to have fun, and that's what I focused on, and that's what I did. And you know, thanks to God, I didn't get distracted. I didn't get distracted with something that wasn't part of the plan. Would I do another solo holiday? Definitely, 100%. I would do it again, but I don't know when I will be doing it again, because you know me, when I go on holidays, I do it big. Okay, I go big. I don't settle for less. I go for what I want. That's just me. That's how I am. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are like that. You don't like to settle for less. You always like to go for what you want. Don't let people make you feel bad about that. I think it's a beautiful thing to have that kind of mindset, to be bold, to be confident, to always go for what you want no matter what. I do highly suggest you go on a solo holiday, especially if you're single. Don't put yourself on hold because you're waiting for a boyfriend or a husband before you can go on holiday. Baby girl, you can enjoy your holiday by yourself, okay? And let me tell you something, when you go by yourself, it gives people room and opportunity to walk up to you and to say hi, to approach you, to talk to you, to take you out. Listen, when I was on my own in Dubai, there were people who were willing to take me out on a date, to just go for drinks. Like, I don't drink alcohol obviously, but just for drinks, or to, you know, chat and have a conversation and all of that. Like, it just, solo holidays give room for people to just walk up to you and approach you, you know. But at the same time, you have to be careful that it's a country where it's safe. Dubai is very, very safe to walk at night at any time of the day, because they're very strict, and it's a very respectful country. Do you know, the only thing that pissed me off with Dubai was I really wanted to see a lot of Arab men, and I wanted to see a lot of Arab women, but I didn't get to see that there because a lot of Arab people don't live in Dubai. It's mainly international people, so I didn't even feel like I was in an Arab country, because all the people there were international. Like, I bumped into so many English people in that country. Is unbelievable. So that was the only thing that I was like a bit like, oh, that could have been nice, but it is what it is. I hope you lot enjoyed this video. If there's anything you want to ask me, do leave a comment. If you've been on a solo holiday to anywhere, leave a comment. Let's hear your experience, and hopefully other people will be able to learn from it too. Until my next video, guys, stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.